All right, you know the drill. You know what? No, actually, I'm just gonna say this anyways, because I'm not explaining myself this time. If you get offended watching this, good. You know what? Not just good, great. Matter of fact, I hope this offends you. I hope you get so mad watching this. I hope you cry. All right, my bad. Anyways, you guys know the drill. Today, we're talking overrated things. Again. For the fourth time. Anyways, first up on today's list, I'm gonna just get this one out the way now. Wingstop. Now, to be fair, I've only had Wingstop like 3 times, but also to be fair, it was mid every one of those times. Now, I don't know how you guys may feel about it, but I've been told by handfuls of people that Wingstop was an S plus top of the rankings #1 fast food contender. You get it? Because contender? Because chicken tenders.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
But yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I have yet to have an S tier experience at Wingstop. I mean, it isn't bad or anything, but the way it got hyped up to me, I was expecting a little bit more. And can we just stop for a second, discuss these abysmal fucking prices for a second? Why is a 6-piece wing combo over $10? Not to mention, for those of you who get boneless wings, you're spending over $10 for a 6-piece chicken nuggets. And yes, boneless wings are just glorified chicken nuggets. I will die on that hill. But yeah, I've been told shit like, oh nah, bro, you made the wrong order. That's why you didn't like it. Excuse me? Wrong order? I don't know about you guys, but I think if I have to make a specific order to really enjoy the food, just maybe the food just isn't that great. I mean, the wings were small as shit, first of all. I'ma just be real. And the fries were pretty low tier. Although I heard they have a special type of fries that's pretty good that I didn't know about when I went to Wingstop. But I mean, it's a wing place. The bare minimum standard should be good wings and good fries. But yeah, that one YouTube Shorts guy who's always eating the tenders makes me want to give Wingstop one more chance. Good. Until he pulls up the receipt and reminds me a 10-piece wing combo costs nearly as much as my phone bill. But yeah, I don't know. Comment your Wingstop orders in the comments and maybe I'll try them and see if I still think it's a D tier fast food place. But speaking of fast food, you know what's not fast? Any and every line at Disney. Because next on our list of overrated shit, we got Disneyland or World. I don't know which one is which, but I don't care. They're both overrated. Now, obviously, if you're under the age of 14 watching this, you can disregard this one. Because you're allowed to hype up Disney as much as you want. But if you're not, I mean, come on, bro. Look, I'm not saying you can't go to Disney and try to have a good time, but I mean, Disney adults are like a whole thing. Like it's a fucking cult. And for what? All these damn man babies pulling up to a children's park that, quite honestly, is kind of shit. I went to Disney back in like 2015, and at that point I was already in high school, and I'm not gonna say I didn't enjoy the experience, but that's about it. If you want to experience Disney, go right ahead. But some people go to Disneyland regularly, and I just don't get it. I mean, maybe if you live down the street, I guess, but what's so great about Disney? For one, it's hot as fuck there, which I guess if you live somewhere that's hot already, you don't really care. But still, it's hot as fuck. The lines are long as shit. I mean, I could literally watch the entirety of the Fast and Furious franchise before getting on a ride at Disney. There's tons of kids crying, and adults. The gift shop is expensive, which is a given at any gift shop. But damn, bro, I couldn't even buy shit when I went to Disney. And neither could my parents, because we were all broke and spent the majority of the budget on the flight. And I don't know, all I remember is being hot and standing in front of lines for most of the day, my little brother crying for an entire day for some stupid ass reason that I can't even remember, and watching other kids spray themselves with those overpriced water fans while I spit on myself to keep from sunburning. Okay, I didn't do that, but you get the point. But speaking of keeping yourself cool, that segues us perfectly into our next overrated thing. Ice cream cake. Maybe it's just me, but I have a pretty clear memory of when ice cream cakes made a comeback in the industry. Just one day I went to some event and they had an ice cream cake there, and ever since, like 80% of the birthday parties and events I've been to had ice cream cake instead of regular cake. And I'm gonna be real, bro. Cake is great, and ice cream is great. But just because two things are great separately, doesn't mean they go great together, okay? For example, hot sauce, pretty great. Beating your meat. Well, maybe not that great for you, but also pretty great. Put them both together. Yeah, you get the point now? Look, I'm not saying ice cream cake is terrible, but I'd rather have like almost any other dessert. I mean, for one, if you leave it out for an hour, it becomes birthday soup. And then because you can't combine the soft sponginess of cake with ice cream, it just has a base of like biscuit or whatever the fuck it is. And then ice cream that's either melted or hard. And even if the ice cream is a good texture, the rest of the cake is always hard as shit. So you just have this weird experience with your spoon trying to break a piece off like you're digging out the wall behind the toilet of a jail cell. And I'm gonna just say this, possibly an unpopular opinion, but cake is top tier. Now, I feel the cake haters are gonna be like, what do you mean unpopular opinion? Cake is overrated. Cake should be on this list. But to be honest, every time I get into a dessert debate, people shit on cake, and I'm just not gonna stand for it anymore. Also, ice cream cake sucks for candles too. So yeah. Also, brownies are overrated too, other than 2-bite brownies. One piece of brownie and I'm good for my brownie consumption for the entire year. But enough about food. The next overrated thing we got is tourist attractions. Now, obviously, this doesn't apply to all tourist attractions, because Well, I don't know all the tourist attractions. Could you even find them all out? It's got to be an insane amount. But yeah, you know what I mean. All the hyped up ones. Now, granted, I haven't been to most of these. In fact, I've only been to like 2. But I just feel like with the millions of people that go out of their way to see these things every year, they just really aren't that cool. Like once you've seen them once for like 5 minutes, typically the experience is pretty much over. And all these businesses will milk the fuck out of these places with all types of tours and gift shops and the most random ass shit that has nothing to do with the place you're at or the thing you're seeing. I mean, I'm not gonna knock anyone for going to see these places, but when you think about it, a lot of them only have people even going there in the first place because they're just internationally glazed. Granted, if I was strolling through Paris and stumbled across the Eiffel Tower, I'm sure I'd take a minute to check it out and take a couple cool photos that I won't look at again for another few years. But I mean, it's just a metal tower. Not to mention it's pretty fucking ugly. I mean, it looks like those metal power line things. What are they called again? A transmission tower. It looks like a transmission tower. Now, if you want to see a real worth it tourist attraction, why don't you take a trip to the Windy City and check out the shiny bean? Now that puts the attraction in tourist attraction. And speaking of attraction, next overrated thing we got, any remotely attractive girls on social media. Look, if you find someone attractive, there's nothing wrong with that. But just maybe, sometimes, try chilling the fuck out. Obviously, this doesn't apply to everyone, but some of you freaks are way too into random people you don't know on the internet. Honestly, even going batshit over a celebrity is pretty crazy to me. But at least for the most part, celebrities have talent. Okay, well, honestly, nowadays it's becoming a lot less true. But seeing some of these guys foam out the mouth daily over some random girl they've seen on Instagram that they most likely will never speak to in their life is just kind of crazy. And speaking of people you'll never speak to, next overrated thing we got is concerts. Now, if you want to see your favorite artist perform live, I'm not against it, but what I am against is the audacity of some of these artist ticket prices. I mean, Taylor Swift had a concert with tickets going for $2,600. $2,600 to sit in a crowd of thousands of people to listen to someone sing. Now, to be fair, maybe all these artists are the greatest performers of all time, though I'd argue most of them probably aren't. But I mean, either way, some of these prices are just not defendable. I've been to 2 concerts in my life, okay? One was $30 and the other was free. But yeah. And speaking of, I don't know how to segue to this next one. But next up, we got the beach. Now, I don't mean the beaches of Fiji or Hawaii. I mean like the beach a lot of us call a beach because it's the closest body of water near where we live, but looks more like a big shitty puddle. Now, this one mostly applies to city beaches, and if you've been to one, then you know what I'm talking about. But 30 seconds of sunny weather is enough to turn the dirty city beach from a nuclear wasteland to a nuclear wasteland with a Taylor Swift concert amount of people there. Now, obviously, I'm only speaking from my perspective on pretty much any North American city beach I've been to, but usually, they're littered with trash, the water is dark and stinky, you have a 25% chance of stepping on a shard of smashed beer bottle glass, and it's overly crowded and gross. Now, this doesn't mean I don't like getting near the water sometimes, but personally, I'd rather just put a cork in my bathtub and turn the AC on and watch that, because most of the time, the beach just doesn't live up to the hype. Alright, let's see what else we got on the list. Disney, Wingstop, ice cream cake. Oh yeah. Okay, next up, we got big city lifestyle. I think lately with the dramatic inflation we as an entire human race are suffering from right now, that this one is a little less common, but it's still very much a thing. Now, this one mostly applies to young people who didn't grow up in a real big city like New York or LA or whatever, that for some reason dream to live in an overpriced shoebox condo that overlooks a polluted, stinky concrete zombie land of crackheads and lunatics. Now, being from a big city myself, I don't know if this perspective even fully makes sense to everyone, but let me just tell you, from someone who has lived in the big city all of my life, it's really not worth the hype. And with today's rent prices, you're gonna have to find yourself 8.5 roommates to squeeze into that living room with a bed in the corner that they tell you is a bedroom. Now, I get that maybe if you don't come from the city, or at least not a big city, the bustling streets and glowing lights and all that might be exciting to you, but the reality is, it stinks. Badly. Like, seriously, it fucking smells horrid. It's expensive as hell for little to no reason other than the convenience of how close everything is, but you're gonna have to go through an obstacle course of crackheads, dog poop, and dirty needles just to get anywhere. And did I mention it's expensive? No, but seriously, it's like paying to get a bounty off your head every fucking month. And that brings us to our next overrated thing, being an adult. Now, I'm noticing this video went from Wingstop is overrated to life is overrated, but hey, I mean, kind of true, I guess. But yeah, honestly, if you're young right now, I mean, I'm not very old or anything, but if you're young and you live at home and you're in school or just working and chilling at home, just don't be in such a rush, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. Now, I'm not gonna turn this into a whole life speech or anything, and I'm also not saying to not try and build up a future for yourself. All I'm saying is enjoy the few luxuries that come with being a kid or a young adult or whatever while you still have it. Yeah, anyways, that about sums up today's video. This one was longer than the 3 last parts, as some of you may have noticed. I'm trying to make longer videos in hopes that YouTube will help push my content more. But yeah, for those of you who are still here, I just want to let you guys know I may be changing up the spacing schedule between my videos. Honestly, I'm not sure yet, but I have a lot of big plans for more researched and just longer topic videos, and I just wanted to kind of upgrade the channel as a whole, like new thumbnail art and stuff like that. I might actually throw a couple spoilers on screen now for anyone cool still watching. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys for supporting the channel, especially for those of you who have been under the comments of like all my videos. It means a lot. And same for the people who just found my channel. I really appreciate all the support. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Year.